Chapter 11 Home Visit. The sprightly lady and an unknown guest. Freiman was on a home visit. Not in his capacity as a social worker in the municipal health service, but simply to stop by and visit his father and his father's partner. His mother had passed away 7 years earlier. Breast cancer with metastases, only 55 years old, far too soon. It went fast, and there was little that could be done once the cancer had spread. Freeman's father was only 58 at the time, and his wife's death was a brutal kick to the gut, but even more so, a heartbreaking crack in the happiness they had built together over 30 years. Yet, not long after her passing, he began flirting with the Spensed lady, the ex of Sigmund down in Valbakken. They had tried to be discreet, but the whole neighborhood couldn't help but notice that they went on walks and to concerts together. Gossip spread, naturally. Freiman hadn't come home often after his mother's death, but now it was about time he visited his father again. The Spensed lady, former Mrs. Bravel, wasn't much older than he was. Cheerful and friendly, yes, but there was something greedy about her presence. The full lips, the cleavage, the way she moved. She had worked as an instructor at the Spensed Fitness Center for a while and was mostly known by that nickname, the Spensed lady. To be fair, she did look great, fit and lively. Maybe a bit overweight, but that was called curvy these days. A plus. That his old man had managed to reel her in was almost unbelievable, but there she sat in the living room with an Irish coffee. His father was good with small talk and jokes. Nothing suggested this visit would turn awkward. Conversation soon turned to current events and Donald Trump's eagerness to buy both Greenland and Gaza, among other places on the planet. His father, a lifelong Labour Party loyalist, scoffed at that and launched into a tirade about the terrible rise of the political right. The Spence lady perked up. An odd glow lit up in her eyes. She burst out, "I think it's cool that Trump is so bold. His proposals are actually good." Freeman's father leaned back, gathering himself. Taking a deep breath, this caught the old man completely off guard. They had, oddly enough, never touched on politics in the short time they'd known each other, or rather, he had deliberately avoided both politics and religion, fully aware of how explosive those topics could be. He had noticed the tension that arose whenever anything related was mentioned. It was as if both of them knew it was dangerous ground. He also knew that the Spence lady had been active in the Pentecostal Church, Philadelphia, some years ago. Her ex-husband, Bravel, had apparently held a leadership role there. Freiman immediately recognized the warning signs and deftly redirected the conversation toward music and art, his own field. His father brightened at once and asked how life as an artist was going. Freeman had plenty to say, and once he got going, he talked like a waterfall. His trip to Magdeburg naturally came up and, as usual, the details were heavily embellished. His father and the Spence lady listened, wide-eyed, and peppered him with questions. It was great fun. But things took a strange turn when the final scene from Gardermoen came up. There was enough religious symbolism there for several volumes. The Spence ladies repeated, "Oh my God," made Freeman pause for breath. He sensed it was time for a break. His father, flustered, went into the kitchen to refill the coffee, with a splash of whiskey. A bit of fortification was clearly needed. No one knew what was coming next. The Spence lady got up and disappeared to the bathroom. All fine. Except that both related gentlemen couldn't help themselves. Their gaze followed the same inevitable path. Nothing was said, only an unspoken acknowledgement. That's just how it is. This was and always had been taboo to bring up. Very few fathers and sons talked about such things. It was shameful, in a way, that women of all ages were divine beings, and no man, driven by his male genes, could resist looking. We try to hide it, It's revealing, but we look at women all our lives. But how shameful could it be if it was natural? Without claiming expertise. This must be tied to timelessness and generations of strict rules about proper behavior, acceptable behavior. That became immediately evident when the Spenced lady returned from the bathroom. Sank comfortably into the armchair, stretched her legs, and leaned back. The doorbell rang. The father of the house jumped up, hurried to the door, and there stood none other than Labour politician Jens Stoltenberg himself. Fryman's father and Jens were good friends, and naturally, he was invited in for an Irish coffee. Jens sat down right away and began his business, the situation in Europe. Things were tense. Donald Trump had broken off peace talks with Putin.